I'd like to say thank you for your common sense approach. We hadn't had a lot of that up here since this pandemic. And I'll say this too, that, when we've put politics into this, which it's been eat up with politics, this whole pandemic, people back in Alabama where I come from don't trust a lot of things that are going on because they don't understand, because they've been told so many different things from the CDC and everybody that works for the CDC. And it just hadn't been a common sense approach. But thank y'all for being here today and doing this. We're trying to get everybody to take the vaccine, and everybody in here over 50 should have taken the shingles vaccine. Everybody in here. I hadn't taken it. I'm much over 50, and I've seen people with shingles, and my God, we just keep putting it off. And that's something Americans do. They think that they're not vulnerable to something like this, but they are. Ms. Bailey, let me ask you this. Back in April, J&J, they had a 10-day pause. Now people back in Alabama ask me, Coach, why should I take this vaccine, this J&J? They stopped it. They're scared to death of it. I don't know why. Did you agree with them making the pause to that?
I believe that the pause that was taken with the J&J vaccine was a sign that our system of detecting what we call safety signals or adverse effects is working. And I think it was a serious enough issue of having blood clots in the brain that we really needed to look very carefully at what was going on before we decided to go forward. Out of an abundance of caution, I think it was a reasonable thing to do, but I agree that it planted some seeds of hesitancy in some folks. But the fact of the matter is that all vaccines have had some reported side effects, but we have always felt that the benefits of the vaccine outweighed the risks. And the beauty is that if someone is of this certain age group that's affected by the J&J vaccine issue with blood clots, especially women of a certain age group, they've got choices. The mRNA vaccines are not associated with those types of blood clots. And so if someone is concerned about that particular vaccine, they have a couple of great choices.
In Alabama, we've only had 30% of the people that are fully vaccinated. And one reason why we got hammered early with COVID, a lot of people had it. But they see all this information on television. If you've had it, you really don't need the vaccine. What would you tell these people?
Well, I tell them that they do need the vaccine because I'm a belt and suspenders kind of person. I believe that COVID is a bad enough disease that it's worth doing everything you possibly can to keep from getting it and to keep from spreading it to someone else that you love, which you can do with an inapparent infection. And so I believe people, and I agree with the authorities, that people that have been diagnosed with COVID should be vaccinated. They should get the second shot if appropriate, and should do everything humanly possible to stop this pandemic in its tracks.
We're here of a booster getting ready to come out for the fall. How are we going to sell that?
Well, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens. I think we need to have the data to show folks that it really does make enough of a difference to justify getting all these folks in to give it to them. But I certainly wouldn't do personally a big booster campaign until we had gotten the first batch of folks vaccinated in the first place. I think our emphasis should be on complete vaccination for the first time around of the general population before we start worrying too much about boosters.
Thank you.